A massive sandstorm rolls across the skies near Baghdad. Visibly is collapsing. The battlefield below is chaos. Explosings to board with them and finishly important. Increasing that being slow these streets, machine gun fire echoes between buildings. American soldiers are pinned down at a critical bridge north of the city, and their only hope is coming from the sky. Two aircraft tear through the storm clouds, the unmistakable shape of the A-10 Thunderbolt II, better known to troops as the Warthog. Inside one of them is Captain Kim "Killer Chick" Campbell. Beside her in the formation is her flight leader, Lieutenant Colonel Rick "Beano" Turner. Then the radio crackles. "Advance 33 to yard flight. My men are taking heavy fire." Lieutenant John Coke Blocher's voice cuts through the static. His unit is defending a strategic bridge north of Baghdad. Iraqi Republican Guard fighters have taken positions beneath the bridge and are launching rocket-propelled grenades at American troops. The soldiers are trapped. They need air support now. Turner answers immediately. "Yard flight inbound." The two Warthogs push forward into the sandstorm. Through the swirling dust, Turner spots a narrow opening in the clouds. Without hesitation, he flips his aircraft upside down and dives through the gap. Campbell follows. The moment they break through the storm, the battlefield appears below them. It's a war zone. Smoke rises from shattered buildings. Tracer rounds streak through the air like glowing threads. Explosions shake the streets surrounding the bridge. And the Iraqis notice the incoming aircraft. Anti-aircraft guns suddenly swing upward. Then the sky erupts with fire. Flak bursts explode dangerously close to Campbell's plane, rocking the cockpit. But the A-10 was built for this. Turner begins the first attack run. Flying dangerously low over the river, he races toward the bridge. Enemy fire tears through the air around him, but he keeps coming. The A-10's legendary cannon spins up, then it roars. 70 rounds per second rip toward the bridge, hammering the structure with devastating force. Turner pulls up. Now it's Campbell's turn. She dives toward the target and squeezes the trigger. The battlefield shakes as her rotary cannon unleashes a thunderstorm of steel into the bridge supports. 4 seconds of fire. 4 seconds that sound like the end of the world. Then she pulls away from the target. For a moment, there is silence. Then the radio crackles again. "Negative. We're still taking fire." The enemy soldiers are still alive. They've hidden themselves perfectly beneath the bridge. Even the Warthog's cannon can't reach them. Turner and Campbell regroup. They try again. This time the Iraqis are waiting. As the Warthogs race along the Tigris River for another attack, tracer rounds explode around them like fireworks. Turner fires first again. The cannon slams into the bridge supports from a new angle, forcing the enemy to scramble. Campbell follows immediately behind him. Her gun thunders again across the battlefield. Concrete shatters. Dust erupts. But when the smoke clears, the enemy is still there. The soldiers on the ground are still under fire. The pilots realize they must try something different. They switch to Hydra rockets, unguided but powerful. Turner dives toward the target first, flying barely above the water. Anti-aircraft fire streaks past his cockpit as his targeting computer calculates the shot. Finally, the moment comes. He fires. A volley of rockets screams toward the bridge. Explosions ripple across the concrete structure. But once again, the radio brings bad news. The rocket struck the surface. The enemy is still hidden underneath. Now it's Campbell's turn. She dives toward the bridge, repeating the same attack path. But this time, the Iraqis are ready. Below her, an Iraqi soldier lifts a shoulder-launched missile system and locks onto the approaching A-10. Campbell lines up her rockets. She fires. The rockets blast toward the bridge. She pulls away from the target, and then it happens. A missile streaks upward from the ground. There's no time to react. The missile slams into her aircraft. The explosion engulfs the tail of the A-10 in a violent fireball. Inside the cockpit, warning lights erupt everywhere. The aircraft suddenly pitches downward toward Baghdad. Oh no, I've been hit. Her plane is barely controllable. Hydraulic pressure is gone. Both systems have failed. The controls feel dead. Her aircraft is falling toward enemy territory. She has two options: eject, or try something almost no pilot ever attempts: manual reversion. It means flying the aircraft without hydraulics, using pure physical strength to move the control surfaces. Most pilots never train for it. Many believe it's nearly impossible. But ejecting would drop her straight into enemy-held Baghdad. Campbell makes her decision. I'm not ejecting over Baghdad. She switches the aircraft into manual reversion mode. Now every movement of the plane depends entirely on her strength. She grips the control stick with both hands and pulls. The aircraft barely responds. The massive 16-ton machine slowly begins to turn. Every inch of movement requires enormous force. Her muscles burn. Warning alarms scream inside the cockpit. Tracer fire continues streaking past the damaged aircraft. Turner flies beside her, trying to shield her plane. He looks at the damage, and what he sees is horrifying. Hundreds of holes cover the fuselage. The tail is shredded. One stabilizer has a hole the size of a football. The engine is riddled with shrapnel. But he doesn't tell her. Instead, he says calmly over the radio, "You've got some ventilation back there." But she's still flying. Campbell takes a breath. "I can handle it. I'm bringing her home." The journey back will take nearly 200 miles. For the next hour, she fights the aircraft with pure strength. Every movement is a battle. Finally, the runway at Al Jaber Air Base in Kuwait appears on the horizon. But the hardest part is still ahead: landing. Almost no one has successfully landed an A-10 in manual reversion. Campbell lowers the landing gear. The lights finally confirm it's down. She lines up for the runway. The plane begins its descent. Then suddenly, just 60 feet above the ground, the aircraft violently rolls to the left. Her heart nearly stops. She yanks the control stick with everything she has. The plane slowly responds. The roll stops. Seconds later, the battered Warthog touches down on the runway. Safe. Campbell whispers one quiet sentence: "Thank you, God." The radio erupts with cheers. Against impossible odds, she has brought the wounded aircraft home. The plane will never fly again. But the pilot who saved it? She'll be back in the air the very next day. For her courage and extraordinary skill, Captain Kim "Killer Chick" Campbell receives the Distinguished Flying Cross. And her story becomes one of the most incredible survival flights in modern air combat history.